Champions Liverpool, Britain's most successful football club, and the shortest price favourites in history to retain that title. And the atmosphere here today, will take it in for yourselves. Fabulous at the best of times. A bit special today, not surprisingly, for this Barclays League special. The visitors, Manchester United, still the glamour club in Britain, despite all Liverpool's success down the years. There isn't a spare seat in the house. That's in no small way due to the return of Ian Rush to these parts. Rush doesn't start today. He takes a seat on the substitutes bench. United, for their part, welcomed back another Welsh striker in the summer, Mark Hughes, and the cry then from Old Trafford, don't be intimidated when you go to Anfield. Rather more easily said than done in an atmosphere like this. But it's worth remembering that United haven't lost a league fixture here since 1979.
Well, after much secrecy and speculation, no real surprises when the two managers revealed their hands. Liverpool do field the side which won at Charlton last Saturday. Ian Rush is still a substitute. And today's presentation to John Aldridge, for being last year's leading First Division scorer, an illustration of the marvellous options available to Kenny Dalglish. For Manchester United, Steve Bruce passed the fitness test an hour before the kickoff. Viv Anderson and Mike Duxbury, both missing on the opening day of the season, they're also fit again. And if there is a surprise, it's in the naming of Peter Davenport as a substitute. Davenport asked for a transfer this week, was fined for making that decision public, and only yesterday walked out on a training session. In recent years, this has been more a confrontation than a contest. And Manchester United, not only 8 visits here without being beaten, 12 First Division fixtures in all since they last lost to Liverpool. A big match with a big man in charge, Keith Hackett, who was the Football League's representative in the European Championships in the summer, and on Tuesday goes to Seoul to officiate in the Olympics. The last fixture here between the two sides was simply extraordinary. It finished in a 3-3 draw last April when Liverpool led 3-1. Manchester United had Colin Gibson sent off then, but came back with 10 men to draw 3-3. Liverpool will feel that there's a score or two to settle here. Barnes, and it's too far ahead of Aldridge. Gillespie, a little nudge cleverly by Hughes, and it dropped towards McClare. Well, I think the Liverpool-born players feel this fixture even more keenly, men like Steve McMahon. Hughes headed well. And it was all a little too quick, the rat-a-tat-tat of passes there between the three Manchester United men. Gillespie solidly above Hughes. Played wide by Whelan. Here's Venison. Beardsley coming away from McGrath to make the pass possible, and now trying to get in beyond him. It bounced awkwardly for Bruce. It'll come for Barnes. And Leighton, who was beaten 4 times here on his only previous appearance almost 8 years ago when he came here in the European Cup with Aberdeen, really rescued Manchester United then. After Bruce had slipped, Beardsley was pressing on. It fell so invitingly for Barnes. But Jim Leighton, £750,000 of a goalkeeper, showed the wisdom of that investment in terms of the save. It was an inventive save in the way he thrust up his arms, and Barnes was denied. Well, it's hard enough, wherever you play for Liverpool, to sustain the standards, knowing there's a top-class replacement usually waiting on the bench, but to do it when Ian Rush, clapping there, is bursting to get on. Houghton. And we have Peter Davenport on, and I must say that was a surprise. He's come on for, as Leighton makes the catch. So Manchester United with injury problems straight away, and Gordon Strachan is the player who's off. Aiming for Barnes for the back flick, but Robson was aware of the danger then. Obstruction given against Olsen, who's now switched to the right. In comes Gillespie, and now Nicol! Well, a year ago, Steve Nicol couldn't stop scoring. He had 7 in 7 games at the start of last season, and he was operating mostly in midfield, but he hasn't got on target since then. But desperately close to breaking that run here. Well, it's no surprise, really, that there's been a casualty for Manchester United in this game already. A number of their players patched up to perform here. Alec Ferguson saying yesterday that he had 15 players of his professional staff on the treatment table, and Beardsley couldn't get the foot there quick enough after brilliance from Barnes. Manchester United might have had the results against Liverpool in recent seasons, in league games at least, but Liverpool have usually had the last laugh in terms of trophies. But there's another casualty of the battle, with Strachan already substituted. Steve McMahon now down. No one shirks a tackle on an occasion like this, especially McMahon. But it was a situation where the odds were in Duxbury's favour. But McMahon has to go off. He's not recovered from that attempted tackle on Duxbury. And Nigel Spackman, who believes his future now is away from Liverpool, does get in on the act. So both sides have had to replace a player, and there's still 20 minutes to go in the first half. Aldridge pulling away. Help is at hand from Nicol. Houghton's made his way in on the far side, but that was brilliant from Barnes. Steve Nicol! The build-up there on the edge of the area was breathtaking. Nicol really the orchestrator, first of all in support of Aldridge, and then to capitalise almost on the back heel from Barnes. And the best defences anywhere in the world would be split apart by football of that quality. Leclerc's head up. Davenport was holding his position right on the touchline and also looking along a different line, the back line of Liverpool's defending. But he was offside in the end. McGrath in snappily. Here's Whelan. Nicol. Too strong for Olsen. Barnes. McGrath's header out. Collected, though, by Nigel Spackman. And when Barnes plays like this, he is a sight to behold, but no penalty. And all round Europe, they were wondering why he didn't turn on the style like that for England in the summer. Down he goes again, it's a penalty this time. So John Barnes, the outstanding individual in this first half, has earned Liverpool a penalty. 7 minutes remaining in the first half. Bruce flung himself into the tackle. Will feel that he got the ball first. It's not a view shared by Keith Hackett. Jim Leighton protested strongly. It's not Aldridge to take the penalty, it's Jan Mulby, and he scores from it. A testing kick, but a successful one. Kept low, Leighton went the right way, but Liverpool lead. Liverpool are told to treat every match as though it's of equal importance. It must be very hard to do that when you're facing Manchester United. But they've been the more composed side in their build-up in a frenetic first half. They've made the better chances. Now they lead. And there seemed no doubt, as the half was unfolding, that Manchester United were finding it harder and harder to rein in John Barnes. So Aldridge, who missed only one penalty last season, but one, of course, on a very prominent stage at Wembley against Wimbledon, seems to have lost the penalty-taking job, but he only got it, in truth, when Jan Mulby was injured at the start of last season. Well, Alec Ferguson, who is watching from the stand rather than the bench, is one who has his own views about the number of penalties that Liverpool get in home matches. It isn't that many more than Manchester United when you check the records. Hughes, Olsen, McClare. There haven't been many moments of menace from Manchester United in the first half, which has but a few seconds left to run, but that was one of them. Davenport. Anderson is there! Grobbelaar had to dive an awful long way, but there wasn't quite enough pace on the header to get past him. It was a most agile save, and it brings a rumbustious first half to a close. The talking point, the penalty, slotted in calmly by Jan Molby after 38 minutes. One for Liverpool by John Barnes, with flashes in difficult circumstances of magnificent skill in a game of helter-skelter pace. Manchester United will have their views on that decision, but that penalty is the difference between these two fierce rivals at the halfway stage. It's Liverpool 1, Manchester United 0.
Thank you, Martin. Liverpool then with the edge from a terrific first half, somewhat controversial lead, but no matter. That full of incidents, and we'll be back with more of the same extended second half highlights in a couple of minutes.
Prende forza poco a poco.
Star relaxes at home with her family. People will do anything to get the new glossy Sunday Mirror colour magazine. So change to the Sunday Mirror with a big free colour magazine this Sunday and every Sunday.
Welcome back to this Barclays League special. Liverpool against Manchester United. Liverpool with the half-time advantage, leading by a goal to nil, attacking their favourite end in the second half, the famous Kop. Let's rejoin our match commentator, Martin Tyler.
Well, guarding the Manchester United goal at the Kop end is Jim Leighton, who was booked for protesting when the penalty was awarded. So 2 yellow cards shown by Keith Hackett in the first half, the other to Liverpool's Jan Molby. The second half is underway. Manchester United really have been a rare blot on Liverpool's marvellous First Division record in the 80s. There'll be no letting up from the home side here. But happily, despite those 2 bookings in the first half, no real legacy from the bad blood between the 2 camps from the match in April. Hughes given surprising room. Needs help, gets it from Brian Robson, who appeals for a corner and doesn't get it. So the man who's come from the maternity ward straight to the mayhem of the midfield of a match like this. Robson with plenty to celebrate, whatever the result today, and there was a deflection, the replay showed. Dropping towards Ray Howe. Aldridge in there sniffing. Venison. It's a fixture which Manchester United always seem to be so fired up for. Liverpool's approach is a controlled one, whoever they play. But it's pretty hollow satisfaction beating Liverpool if they win the championship. It is an extraordinary run, though, of poor results, even before Ray Houghton's time here for Liverpool in this fixture. Boxing Day 1979, the last Liverpool win in a league game at Anfield against Manchester United. That's Grobbelaars. There does seem to be tremendous jealousy between the two cities, possibly in a social sense, from Liverpool towards Manchester, where there seems to be a greater degree of affluence. Certainly in a football sense, from Manchester towards Liverpool, where there's a great deal more success. It makes for a unique occasion, a unique atmosphere, but that's been kept in check by some controlled refereeing by Keith Hackett, although Steve Bruce was bitterly disappointed when the penalty decision went against him. Won, of course, by Barnes's magnificent approach work, and the invention this time comes from Peter Beardsley. Barnes goes for the cross, and United could have been forgiven for trying to consolidate their forces around Barnes. Hughes working hard, and Leclerc has got support from Robson and then went his own way. Again they appeal for a corner. Again the referee says no, and suddenly Liverpool were caught out by Hughes' quick ball forward, Robson's run, which in the end Leclerc uses a decoy. It flicked off Steve Nicol, too quick for the eye of the referee. And some of the play in this match has been played at that pace, and you really could forgive spectators and referee alike for being caught out. Keith Hackett is certainly one of the best. Spackman. Just the physical nature of the match, rather than anything particularly nasty, responsible for the two first-half substitutions. McClare. Manchester United have started the second half well. Peter Davenport on so early in the game for Gordon Strachan. And then it was Spackman for McMahon. Hughes. Sold Anderson short. I'm sure both sets of players are aware that there is a tremendous responsibility on their shoulders in terms of their behaviour on the field, given the rivalry between the two sets of supporters. But the game still has its edge, but there's been very little that's been cynical or malicious. It's good to report. And Venison, when Hughes was waiting, there really is no time to settle, as Robson proved. A one-man task force here. McGrath has to deal with the ball as Liverpool tried to get it over the top of him for Aldridge to chase. Davenport, a delightful touchdown under pressure for McClare, taken on by Hughes. Robson is there. A goal wouldn't come amiss, really, the way that Manchester United have begun the second period. Their best spell of the match. Stung perhaps by the half-time words from Alec Ferguson. He's been known to say a thing or two on this ground. One or two things that probably he's subsequently regretted. But within the privacy of the dressing room, Ferguson, now on the bench for the second half, has fired up his players. Strachan down there, you could just see with some ice applying to the injury. McGrath above Aldridge. This is Ray Houghton, and that was a slice as he leant back. The ball just held up from Whelan's pass. Didn't run on for Aldridge. Clever dummy by Hughes. And Hughes, who doesn't shirk a tackle, and the next one was late from Robson. Whelan lashed out. Other players got involved, like Mulvey. But Brian Robson let the atmosphere of this game get the better of him then. He had no chance of getting the ball. But no booking, that's why you're hearing the boos. The ball rolled loose. It was a fair challenge between Hughes and Spackman. And then, oh dear, it was a sliding lunge from the Manchester United in England captain. And you could almost excuse Whelan for his retaliation. Gillespie able to show his composure even in this setting. Barnes, play on, good refereeing. Nicol is onside. Aldridge has gone to the near post. Checking out here is Peter Beardsley. Good positioning by the two Liverpool frontmen then to offer the two options. but Peter Beardsley not really a powerhouse in the air. Barnes a thorn in the side of Viv Anderson again. Ronnie Whelan. Aldridge. Here's Venison. Liverpool picking their passes. Houghton. And United defended well. And Davenport leads the breakout. Blackmore quickly up in support. Duxbury wants help to his right. Anderson obliging. A lot of white shirts forward. Olsen. Well, it's just a little slow thinking then, and Beardsley improvised magnificently. Aldridge. Liverpool moving out so quickly that there's not too much help from midfield, but do they need it? John Aldridge determined to keep Ian Rush nailed down on that bench. Shoulder to shoulder. His goals are earning a stay of execution. That's the feeling on Merseyside for John Aldridge. But will it be a reprieve in the long term? Rush still waiting for the call. Here's Mark Hughes, Sparky Hughes. Quite an appropriate nickname with the sparks flying in this match. Oh, and Davenport, who's quite a perceptive player when he keeps his mind on the game and not on the transfer business. And he very nearly picked a route in behind Liverpool then. Oh, and Leighton, that was a bold thing to do, to meet it on the volley. Barnes. Well, they could charge 10 times the admission price for this match, and you wouldn't be shortchanged. And here's Nigel Spackman! Great save by Leighton. Spackman robbed of his first goal for Liverpool. And Scotland's #1 with a save of international quality. 20 minutes played in the second half. Mulvey. Nicol. This is marvellous. And Anderson had to take drastic measures. Just when you think the tempo must slacken, the game gets even quicker. We're still glorying in the Leighton save when Steve Nicol set off like an Olympic sprinter. And the notebook out by Keith Hackett this time. But Liverpool and Kenny Dalglish are never satisfied. Rush getting loose, but on the field all attention at the free kick. Will it be Mulvey? It's Barnes, and then it's Leighton. Billy Garton is number 12 for Manchester United. a versatile defender. There have been more grimaces than grins. Beardsley. Oh, now what will the referee make of that? Barnes beseeches for a free kick. Anderson. Blocked off the run, shall we say. Stride for stride. Oh no, he did more than that. He pulled Barnes back. He's a lucky man. Barnes had a case. Nicol, even if you give the ball away to him deep in his own territory, it can be a risky business. But this is Houghton making one of those characteristic runs from right to left. Nicol, as ever, has galloped some 50 yards to join in the attack as well. Robson, and Grobbelaar won't get there. Now, that's got to be a booking. He had to bring McClare down. It could be a sterner sentence. Some referees would send the goalkeeper off in those circumstances. It's only yellow and not red for Bruce Grobbelaar. McClare not surprised that it happened, but the only way to take that out of the game is to send off the culprit. Grobbelaar, normally so shrewd in his sorties off the line, was never going to get there. And all Manchester United have is a free kick. Anderson. No shortage of talking points. Well, you wouldn't be surprised at that, really, in this fixture. But it's one of those dramatic moments, the penalty incident, which is still the most crucial episode in the game. But Manchester United, although they've had their scares, although Leighton has saved supremely, have had a better second half, and maybe that's why Kenny Dalglish is warming up the Messiah. That's the way the Anfield fans see him, judging by the extra sales in season tickets. Olsen squeezing the pass out. Hughes, more space in there than Liverpool would really like, although Gillespie got across again. Hughes. Barnes. Found by Beardsley, who's found by Barnes. And Aldridge, who must have seen Ian Rush warming up and noted the reaction. The suppliers there, Barnes and Beardsley, limited. Venison's got to be careful here. Hughes quite prepared to go into a tackle, unlike some forwards. Out, and that's only diverted to Davenport. Aldridge trying to plot the course. McGrath able to turn to safety. Just one or two signs of tiredness in midfield, but not from Nicol. Well, Keith Hackett wanted to play on. And then Steve Nicol suddenly clasped the ball to his head to that crew cut as he laid on the ground. And the free kick had to go Manchester United's way. Just in case you've forgotten, Liverpool lead 1-0. A Jan Molby penalty. 7 minutes before half-time. And Spackman not happy with McGrath. Beardsley to Houghton. Round the back is John Barnes. And now Spackman. It was a muddled sort of shot. It hit the post. Aldridge. It just won't go in for Spackman. Already denied by Leighton's save earlier in the half. A difficult ball to control, but he did keep it down. Beat Leighton this time. Couldn't beat the post. The applause is partly for the departure of John Aldridge, but mostly for the arrival of Ian Rush, who has added even more force to the magnetism of Liverpool on Merseyside. Only 11 minutes for Rush to make an impact. But those who keep a close watch on the statistics of Ian Rush's career tell me that Rush is at his most deadly in the last 10 minutes. But the chance belongs to Barnes, and now to Beardsley, and now to Barnes, and then it was just the sort of trifle that Rush could snap up as it flashed across the goal area. And Liverpool, unusually for them, wanted to line that one up. A second goal would secure the points for sure. But Liverpool still have to live on their nerves. It's back, Houghton. And this is Barnes, and Leighton the barrier again. Houghton. Barnes was still trying to get his balance back. And still he hunts for goal. Beardsley. Spackman. Rush. And now Houghton is offside. Well, Jim Leighton was beaten 4 times on his only previous visit to Anfield when he played for Aberdeen in the European Cup. He certainly wouldn't have been disgraced if he'd been beaten 4 times here, but he's kept it down to 1-0, with Liverpool running free in this last phase of the game. Duxbury. Steve Bruce is covering. Steve Bruce, who was on the field when Ian Rush scored his first ever league goal 9 years ago now for Chester against Gillingham. They've both come a long way since then. Anderson. Robillard. Well, at times he does run the gauntlet, so to speak, and will make mistakes, but defenders will always tell you how wonderful it is to have a goalkeeper you know is going to come, and they'll forgive a few errors. Rush squeezing the pass away to Beardsley. Past Bruce. Here's Spackman. And all Anderson can do, and he did it well, is put it behind, and hell-bent on scoring today, Nigel Spackman. Whelan. And that's a marvellous pass for Nicol and for Rush, off the line. Nicol, after Bruce had robbed Rush. Nicol followed it in. But Rush, this would have been headlines in every Sunday paper, but for Bruce. And Nicol skimmed the bar. The man with the nose for goal. The round of substitutions is about to be completed. Paul McGrath, who's had problems with blistered feet and didn't play on Monday in the Mercantile Credit Tournament, didn't seem to be best pleased to be replaced there by Billy Garton. There may be some implications in that substitution. We must wait and see. Barnes. Two trying to stop him, but they can only do it by conceding the free kick, and that serves a double purpose for Liverpool. It gives them an opportunity to settle the destiny of the match with a second goal right at the last. It also uses up a few more seconds. And it's the latter which seems to be the main priority, or is it? Going to be another free kick. It's a match which has shown that you don't have to have goals to have entertainment of the highest order. A 1-0 win by a penalty. It looks as though it's going to go into the record books as. That will ignore the rich vein of captivating play. And control play too, and it is over. Listen to that reaction from the Liverpool supporters, because a sequence which has been a real irritation to Liverpool and their followers has come to an end. The one goal, Jan Molby's penalty, will be debated, I'm sure, but it stopped Manchester United's run at Anfield, a win over Manchester United in a league game for Liverpool for the first time here for almost 9 years. And remember, more than 6 years since Liverpool's previous league win over United, home or away. publicly, Liverpool will probably say that this result doesn't mean anything more to them other than a win. The 3 points, after all, are the same. Privately, I'll tell you, their satisfaction will be immense. The scoreline that will give them that satisfaction: Liverpool 1, Manchester United 0.
So Liverpool shading it by a goal to 0, but my goodness, a terrific amount to admire in that match. And as we say goodbye from Anfield, we'll leave you with some of the highlights.
Beardsley coming away from McGrath to make the pass possible, and now trying to get him beyond him. It bounced awkwardly for Bruce. It'll come for Barnes. And Leighton, who was beaten 4 times here on his only previous appearance almost 8 years ago when he came here in the European Cup with Aberdeen, really rescued Manchester United then. And when Barnes plays like this, he is a sight to behold, but no penalty. And all round Europe, they were wondering why he didn't turn on the style like that for England in the summer. Down he goes again, it's a penalty this time. So John Barnes, the outstanding individual in this first half, has earned Liverpool a penalty. It's not Aldridge to take the penalty, it's Jan Mulby, and he scores from it. Davenport. Anderson is there! Grobbelaar had to dive an awful long way. But there wasn't quite enough pace on the header to get past him. Well, they could charge 10 times the admission price for this match, and you wouldn't be shortchanged. And here's Nigel Spackman! Great save by Leighton. Spackman robbed of his first goal for Liverpool. Beardsley to Houghton. Round the back is John Barnes. And now Spackman. It was a muddled sort of shot. It hit the post. Aldridge. It just won't go in for Spackman. Whelan. And that's a marvellous pass for Nicol and for Rush. Off the line. Nicol after Bruce had robbed Rush. Nicol followed it in. A second goal would secure the points for sure. But Liverpool still have to live on their nerves. Spackman, Houghton. And this is Barnes, and Leighton the barrier again. Houghton. Barnes was still trying to get his balance back. While Jim Leighton was beaten 4 times on his only previous visit to Anfield when he played for Aberdeen in the European Cup. He certainly wouldn't have been disgraced if he'd been beaten 4 times here, but he's kept it down to 1-0.